this way before. Travel through the open door. Circumstances navigated the path, and life happened oh so fast. No, it got lonely. Sometimes you see, I know we couldn't make it. Even when I'm offbeat, I still land on my feet, and nothing can shake me. Cause I know life took a hold of me. I never. This is where I am destined to be. I'm not ready to give up. No. I believe in the miracle of life. Life's a break with no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Games we play, can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a liar. I'm telling you the truth. It's all in what you do. Some things you gotta do. Fight for me, I'm gonna take a second, see the blessing in it. But much expected, much is given. When I made the living, now I'm giving back to children. Never let the power come first before your happiness. Yes, you can be the best if you go the distance. Mix a little sweat with your persistence. You know that the best things are never instant. Just shine up, let us see your brilliance. Get up, open up your eyes now. It's the moment of truth. No backing down. We're bringing it to life. For the children, it's a given. You gotta give it, be a blessing.
This my personal statement. Run the game like I'm A6. Learn to develop patience, determined to be the greatest. Yeah, bobbing and weaving, they changing up like the seasons. Indigenous to the grind, so I do it for all my people. Jabbing the competition, back up against the ropes. You fighting for recognition, I'm fighting just to promote equality where we lacking. While cancer slowing our road, I'm confident we'll make it. We focus on common goals. Yeah,
give back, give love, giving something away. Never give up, stand tall to fight another day. 2 toes, 2 feet, I stand on the ground. I'm going back soon and fight this final round. Life's a break for no rehearsal. Learn quickly, they'll come for your role. Can't take it personal. Cause the devil is a lie. Telling you the truth, it's all in what you do. Some things you gotta do.
Dun, 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 dun. Hey, the Majestic, what it do? Phil 508, Young World TV. MJ's Total Health and Wellness Enrichment. What's up, DB? Phil, man. What's up, Reggie? You know you done fucked up, right? Hey. KJ, what's up, TB? I appreciate y'all coming in here, man. I'm excited, man. I am thoroughly excited. Hey, I am thoroughly excited to have Bill Duke on this platform, man. It's I'm ecstatic, man. I'm ecstatic. Got my notes. I'm excited. Hopefully y'all excited as well. And feel free just to keep on, when you guys have questions, just keep on flooding them. And that way I'll get them, right? Oh man. So I'm excited. I'm excited as you guys are, man. Everybody having a good Monday. Don't forget we got a show tonight as well. I'm gonna post it after this. Did y'all see? Oh, we talked about it the last minute, but now not Tiafimo, but now Lomachenko, he's calling out Devin Haney. Man, that whole 135 division is all cap. I mean, ain't nothing. They ain't. But anyway, as the world turns, today is March 1st. And yeah, man, it's it feels like a new year, because last year this time COVID was about to take off. We were hearing about it, and then March 14th, 15th, or 16th, our worlds changed. You know, we had to sit at home, and D Nice went buck wild, and what else? Versus, you know, we went to the market, stood in line, and got all the snacks that we could get. We ain't even get no meat and fruits and vegetables. Hey, my pantry was full of snacks, man. I was like, man, I get to get a month off because I've never been in a pandemic before. I'm thinking, we only gonna be like this for a month. You know what I mean? In 2 weeks, will be the 1 year anniversary, man. I remember the last time I went to the gym. It was like March 14th or 16th or something like that. And I ain't been back since, man. You know, shout out to all those and blessings to everyone that was thoroughly impacted, man. You know what I mean? You know what I mean? Thoroughly impacted by COVID, man. Hopefully your return is sooner than later. You know, it's and hopefully the government is dropping another stimulus package soon. I saw online, so hopefully that helps, that aids us in our recovery. You know, damn. And I mean, man, what a year 2020 was, right? Y'all or us, we gonna be watching 2020 documentaries with our grandkids, man. Imagine those conversations, right? Imagine those conversations. 2020. You know what I mean? We did 100 days nonstop in the barbershop, man. Reggie Owens was going live every day. He deserves a lot of credit too, man. Reg was in the trenches too, going live sometimes twice a day, man. And yeah, man. Man, what a time. What a time, man. Wow. 1 year anniversary. It's been a crazy year, yeah. Now things are starting to take form, you know. I don't like the term get back to normal because you know, we're still less than, you know, so when things get back to normal. Well, so but yeah, it's 2021 and we're 2 weeks away, and the man of the hour is in the building, man. The legendary, you ready? I'm about to beam you in, the legendary Mr. Bill Duke. Man, what's up?
How you doing, brother? God bless you, man.
Oh man, what an honor it is to have you in here. In perfect time, the co-host is calling in, man. The legendary Bill Duke, man. Wow, we got Bill Duke in the barbershop, man. Thank you.
Brother. So good to be here, man.
Oh, awesome, man. And the co-host has just arrived, DB Bill Duke, DB.
Pleasure to meet you, legend.
Yeah, legend.
Thank you, brother. God bless you. Thank you so much.
40 years career on screen and behind the camera. Let's start there.
Okay.
Why? Why now? Why not before? And the details inside the book.
Well, I wanted I wrote the book because I wanted to be able to give information in terms of my experience that may be of help, little nuggets of information that may be help to people coming in the industry right now, in terms of some of the things I faced and how I resolved them. So it was really trying to pass it forward type situation. And so the book talks about the business. The most difficult part is my personal life. That was the hardest part to write because you have to be vulnerable. But I'm happy with it, and it's doing well.
Yeah, and you said the ups and downs in the business. I was doing research on you, and unbeknownst to me, you done had 9 lives, man. Wow, man, going broke, drug addiction, not having work. Wow, talk about those momentous moments that actually propelled you to be in the position that you're in now.
Well, I think the God within us and the God of us all took me through all of the obstacles. I like to say my brilliance or whatever. No, it was a divine intervention many times. I was in a plane crash in 1984. I don't swim. And the plane was sinking, and the pilot asked me to jump off and with a life donut. And I did. I almost drowned, but I held to the life donut. And take this to Vegas and see how this works. Twice a year, the Hawaii Fire Department sends out emergency rescue teams to do exercises, right? This day, they were 1/2 nautical miles from where we crashed. They saw us going. What are the chances of that?
As the great Chick Hearn would say, slim to none.
Slim to none.
Yeah.
And as we're driving back, we're all shivering in boats to the shoreline, to the ambulances. The pilot saved my life because he gave me instructions and stuff. And I said to him, I'm saying, sir, I really appreciate what you did because you saved my life. I can't swim. I was out of it. You know, he looked at me and he said, young man, I appreciate that. He said, but whoever he says, I'm a Catholic. I pray to Christ. He said, but whoever you pray to, thank that. And he turned away from me and he turned back and looked at my face and started crying like a baby.
Wow. Survived though. Wow. DB.
I'm still starstruck for a second, so you got to forgive me. It's one of my favorites right now, man.
Thank you, brother. Thank you. God bless you.
The first thing I do want to ask you is, what do you think your best role was for you? And also, what do you think that what do you perceive that you are most remembered for?
It's hard to say the best role because my start, and I still love that character. My favorite was in a film called Car Wash. I played Abdullah.
With Richard Pryor.
With Richard Pryor and George Carlin and Danny DeVito, the Pointer Sisters, and the great Ivan Dixon and the great Michael Schultz directed it. It was one of the pinnacle moments of my life and my career. I also enjoyed what I did in Predator. I thought that when we were in the jungle for a long time, I don't know if you know the story, but you know the Predator that you saw was not the original Predator. Did you know that?
No.
No, the original Predator was a smaller character with laser beams, much more ambidextrous. And the actor playing that part, we were in 105 and 10 degree temperature at that time, had to fly through trees on wires in a felt suit because they were going to superimpose the special effects and post-production. And so he was flying and flying, and he had passed out twice from dehydration. So the second time he passed out, the producer came over to him and said, look, man, you passed out. It costing me time and money. You can't do it again. So the guy says, I'm not passing out on purpose, man. I'm dehydrated. The producer says, I don't care. You can't pass out no more. 2 weeks go by. The guy passes out. The producer comes over to him, says, you're fired. And that guy was Jean-Claude Van Damme.
What? What?
His first job in the country. Not everybody knows that.
Wow. And then you're not going to forgive me for this. I just found out today, that the Predator was black.
Yes.
How did I miss that?
The black man. Exactly.
Yeah.
Over 7 foot tall.
Yeah. Kevin Hall was his name, correct?
Yes, he was incredible. He was a dancer too.
Yeah, there's so many things, man, to talk to Bill Duke about. But you came up with a docu movie called Dark Girls. Can you talk about that?
Well, it's based upon, what I saw when I was growing up, young black women going through that are dark complected, and some light complected too. What they went through in terms of, in our dark skin is not considered to this day necessarily pretty. And, it's like a lot of women have gone through a lot of suffering because of the complexion of their skin. And I wanted to give the voice to the voiceless. And one of the interviews that did not get into the film, and I regret it to this day, was I filmed it in my hometown, Poughkeepsie, New York. I couldn't get in the film because the sound was bad. The sound, he couldn't correct the sound. But this young black woman in her 30s, interviewing her, and we said, well, what does this mean to you? What have you been through? She said, I haven't ridden, and I never rode in the passenger seat of a man's car until 2 years ago. He said, what does that mean? She said, well, from my teenage years, up until almost now, whenever I was out with a young man and he took me out, they would say, why don't you act as my assistant and drive for me? You know what I mean? And she would drive the car for them and everything, and blah, blah, blah. But she said until 2 years ago, she never rode in the passenger seat of a man's car. That when she told us that story, everybody in the crew just stopped, because and that's black on black. That's us doing it to us. To this day.
What's the origin of that, would you believe?
I think it's the house Negroes and the field Negroes from slavery. I think it's, white is always considered better. Lighter is always considered better. But I did a film called Light Girls too, because light-skinned women go through similar things. There was one light-skinned girl that told some light girls that the dark-skinned girls, when she was in elementary school, to take her into the bathroom. When she was in the bathroom, she was afraid to go to the bathroom because the dark-skinned girls would come in and slam her to the floor and pull her hair out by the roots until her scalp was bleeding, because they felt that she was so cute because she had good hair. And she was like, 12 or 13 years old. That's us doing it to us. So the thing is, yes, it comes from slavery. It comes from, what we do to each other. It comes from advertisement, You don't see a lot of darks in positive ways in terms of things. And so media is a very powerful tool. So as a result, if you don't see yourself reflected in very positive, it's getting better, but it's not where it should be yet.
Yeah, you mentioned house Negro versus field Negro, and I instantly go back to Malcolm X's speech. And you were born in Poughkeepsie, New York. Can you reflect upon the 50s and 60s growing up in that climate? And if you had a relationship with Malcolm X or Red Fox, anyone down there at the time?
Well, I was born in 1943. Mm-hmm. So in the 50s, I was like 7 to 50s, I was 7 years old. 60s, I was very young. I can tell you some things.
Sure.
There's some good white people that I was friends with. Then there were people who were totally racist. We were 8, 9 years old. My sister and I were walking from church one day, or from a movie one day, to our home. And we passed this gas station and these white bikers. My sister was, I think, 8 and I was 9. And this white bikers said, "Hey, nigga, stop." We said, my mother and father always told me, never confronted by started running. Got in their bikes, they chased us down the street and caught us and knocked me to the ground and pushed my sister and beat me, kicked me in the face and punched me in the face and all that stuff. And they said, "Next time, nigga, we tell you to stop, you're gonna stop, right?" And so we got up, we ran back to the house. My father saw us and said, "What happened?" We told him. He said, "Get in the car." He went upstairs, got his gun, put us in the back seat. He said, "When you see them, you let me know." Rode back up and down Main Street, and I'll tell him 15 times. And we saw them, but we would never tell my father because he would have killed them. And we would have never seen my father again.
Wow. Did you ever tell your father that when you became a grown man?
What?
Did you ever tell your father that story when you became a grown man?
What do you mean?
Like you said that you did see them, but you didn't tell him.
No. We would never know. No. In those days, it's like we were protecting him, because my father, very gentle, soft-spoken, hardly talked at all. Very humble man. Worked 3 jobs at the same time. That's where I got my work values from. But if you mess with his family, brother, in those days, black men, no matter what position they were in, brother, if they were working brothers, they would take a lot of stuff, but you never mess with their family, because there were consequences.
Have you seen American Skin yet?
No.
Okay, well, because it deals with the father-son relationship as well. How should we handle those situations now? It's not as in your face now. Maybe not, depending on where you live. Well, I live in Los Angeles, so it's not like in my face. Like,
I'm in Los Angeles also.
Say it again.
I'm in LA also.
Oh yeah, beautiful. And how should we handle those situations moving forward?
What kind of situations?
Like those racial undertones and the forwardness of racism today.
I think that you have to accept the fact that it continues to be a reality in this nation, in this world. And there's a balance in terms of our reactions. I'll give you an example. This happened years ago. I was the first black director on Dallas. It was the most popular show on television at the time.
Yep.
So I had a used car and had I put my little suit jacket on, briefcase, and was going to really impress the fact that first black director, I'm going to be proud of my people. I drive up to the gate. I roll the window down. The security guard looks into the window and he says to me, "Who are you delivering for?" I said, "What did you say?" He said, "Who are you delivering for?" Now, what I wanted to say was, I'm about to deliver a can of whip ass to you. But if I had said that, I would have been the angry black man and I would never work again in Hollywood. I had seen Dr. King on TV the night before. Thank God I listened to what he had to say. I looked at the guard and I said, what I'm delivering is my talent as the first black director on Dallas. Would you please open the gate? The most rewarding thing was the look on his face. See, you can't get a bigger reward than that. It was like shock. You know what I'm saying? So I could have chosen to be defensive and violent, but Malcolm X said something very, very powerful. 2 things. He said, no matter how good a football player you are, if the name of the game is baseball, you better get yourself a damn bat. The second thing he said was, as a culture, we continue to play checkers in the chess game. And they're telling us how good little checker players we are, and they're playing chess. My brother, we got to learn how to play chess. Come on. These are chess days. These are not checker days. So choose your battles. Choose them wisely. Sometimes you got to lose the battle to win the war. You know that, right? It's a battle. Lose a battle, but have your focus on winning the war. Make any sense?
Makes a lot of sense. I deal with that now. This platform is based off losing battles to win the war. You know what I mean? You mentioned Martin Luther King, Malcolm X. I rarely get to ask people about those moments in their lives, and I know those are like for me. It's George Floyd. It's Breonna Taylor just of last year. Challenger blowing up. Can you take the time and talk about April 4th, 1968, February 21st, 1965, and those?
When Malcolm and Dr. King died, I want to say it took my breath away, because it did for years. But underneath that, it took my hope away. I was devastated. I was angry. I don't know if words can describe it. You know, that kind of loss. It's like, you know, their assassination killed more than them as human beings. It killed a movement, it killed hope, it killed a lot of things that we were hanging on to. And it took us way back. And I still don't think we've caught up. And here's the thing about it, they knew they were going to die. But they were willing to sacrifice their lives for something bigger than their egos and their personal lives. They knew they were going to be murdered. They knew it. King said it. Malcolm said it. They knew they were going to die. And to see them killed like that was, it filled me with hate, man. It filled me with hate and pain. I'm not gonna lie, hate and pain.
What is that hate geared towards?
Anything that looked like what killed him. The system, white folks. It was misguided hate, because a lot of white folks helped. But it was a time where you didn't think clearly, man. When Bobby Kennedy announced that Dr. King died on TV, man, it was like, I don't have the words, to be honest with you.
And you also work with Alex Haley. I would have loved to be a fly on the wall with those conversations if y'all had any. Could you take the time and talk about, did you guys talk about the autobiography, the 60s, his journalism? You can go anywhere you want with that. I'm just enamored just listening to you.
Alex Haley was one of the most brilliant people I've ever, the program was called Palmerstown, USA. It was about he and Norman Lear put it together. It's about a black family and a white family that lived in neighborhoods close to each other, and how the black fathers were the ones that were, and the white father didn't like the black father, but the two kids liked each other. And so they brought them together. Talking to Alex Haley was like, wow, how do I describe it? One of the funniest human beings, and people don't know that about him. He was funny for real. But it was one of those cutting, he wouldn't cut you with a knife, with a razor. No razor blade funny.
Yeah, kind of like you and Predator.
Yes. He was brilliant, genius, historian, great writer, great producer, just a great man, historian. And when you talk to him, you learn something. When you talk to Alex, it wasn't just a conversation. He didn't see himself as this big historical person. He was just having a conversation with you, but it was the depth of his conversation that he took it to, that you ask a simple question, you got the historical context of the question you asked. And it was a gift from God.
Did you get a chance to ask him about the autobiography of Malcolm X?
A little bit. And, the thing about there are a lot of people who still have this ability, but he had the ability to put everything into context. historical context. And so, yes, the death of Malcolm, but what about the many deaths before Malcolm that led up to Malcolm's death?
Mega Evans.
Do you know what I'm saying? He would give you a litany of all of the deaths that ever happened to the people who sacrificed themselves for us.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Yes.
So it was, he spoke history, he spoke compassion, he spoke passion, he spoke commitment, dedication, and courage.
DB.
I just heard this earlier today. Maybe it's because I was watching Dark Girls, but I heard this saying, the blacker the berry, the sweeter the juice, or the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. When you hear that, what does that mean to you?
What it means is it gives dignity to dark complexion. You know, it's like, you know, I still hear from women that are dark complected. They tell me that men literally come up to them today and say, and they don't mean an insult by it, but they literally say this out of their damn mouths. You know, you're pretty for you're pretty for a dark-skinned girl. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
You're pretty for a dark-skinned girl, and they mean that as a compliment.
Wow.
So I say, no. You're beautiful. The darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. You're beautiful. Let your daughters know that. Let your sons know that. Let your people know that. We have to promote that.
Right. Yeah, there's I want to talk about this for a second too. There's been a lot of British and UK actors getting roles or being selected for roles to portray the so-called American heroes, I guess, over the last decade or so. Do you feel like it's just a matter of talent, or you think there's something else there?
I think it's a matter, I think talent is part of it. The real issue is the ratio of films that minorities are in annually. I mean, if you look at the number of films that come out of Hollywood every year, right? Over 100 and some films, right? What percentage of those are minority oriented? You see, if that percentage is increased, then you have American black actors, foreign black actors, whatever it is, because there's more stories and more opportunity. But we fight over the opportunities because there are so few. It's increasing because of Netflix, Amazon, Hulu, Crackle, Google, AT&T acquiring Warner. I mean, things are expanding. But how much for us is the question.
Yeah, I understand. Can you talk about your experience working with Terrence Howard and 50 Cent on Get Rich or Die Trying? And also, I guess the second part of that question is, how do you feel about rappers in acting? And do you think that they take away roles from some of the more classically trained actors?
Well, working with those guys was great. That was fun. I worked with Terrence Howard's grandmother in a Broadway show called Ain't Supposed to Die a Natural Death, written by Melvin Van Peebles, and Gilbert Moses, great Gilbert Moses directed it. And I gave Terrence a poster of his grandmother in the show that I saved. So working with them was a great experience. It's working with, and, rappers Some of them are very talented actors. And some of the ones that have taken the time to study acting. I'll give you an example. People like Common, for example. Common isn't just a good rapper. He's a good actor. If you look at some of his roles, I mean, he studied the craft and he gets into it. And so I have great respect for that. Would I hire rappers? Yes. If they come with the stuff that is needed for the scene or whatever. But I don't think rappers are taking a lot of jobs away from actors that are qualified. I don't really feel that. I feel they're just not enough jobs.
Right. I don't remember you ever doing this in any of your movies from Car Wash all the way up to now. I haven't seen you wear a dress or a skirt in any movies, but how do you feel about the actors who wear dresses and skirts? And if you didn't do it, did you feel like it was just a matter of not being offered a role like that? Or do you feel like it would have been compromising your integrity?
I didn't do it before because I felt it would be compromising my integrity. But I don't judge actors that do it because, first of all, this is a brutal business. Check out the stats. I'm not going to tell you the numbers. You're not going to believe it. About the entire Screen Actors Guild, what percentage of actors work annually? Check it out. You're going to be shocked by the percentage that even work at all. So if you're offered a role and you have, let's say, 3 children, and you got a mortgage to pay, food to put on the table, paying for your kids' education, whatever, you weigh those options. You have integrity as a human being, as a person, but also your children want to eat that night. You got to balance things out. So I don't judge and hate them for that. I really don't. They made that decision for survival, and other opportunities will come that will give them other opportunities to show other sides of who they are. But that's the way it is.
Is Bumpy Johnson a hero?
Hell yeah. Do you know how much of a hero he really was when he went up? He went up against the mafia. I'm talking about the mafia.
Yeah.
You don't go up against the mafia. That's called death. But him and his boys said, no, you ain't taking the numbers out of Harlem. Sorry. Madam Queen created this. You ain't doing this. Come up if you want. But guess what? There'll be consequences. So they came up and started shooting, but guess what? They didn't expect him to shoot back. This is based on real stories, guys. So he battled them for years and years and years and years, and they tried to kill him so many times, and they didn't kill him, they couldn't kill him, and he killed some of them, and blah, 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 blah. Guess how he died? Eating chicken in a waffle place from a heart attack. And here's the thing that was amazing. On the day of his funeral, did you know that mafia cars went around the block trying to get in the funeral to pay their respects? True story. Now, Bumpy didn't play, man. And he wasn't loud or talked a lot. No. Don't come to Harlem. Simple. And if you come, there's going to be consequences. Done.
Do you think, as Harlem being a metaphor, have we given up Harlem in terms of our talents for a check? Should we be on the other side of ownership or the beginning stages of it? Where's that paradigm now? Where are we?
Well, if you're talking about ownership of where we live, have you been on Harlem recently?
Yeah. Oh, very much. I grew up in Esplanade Gardens. On 47th.
All the mom and pop shops used to exist at one time. You know they're gone, right?
Yeah.
Remember all the black businesses that were there?
Yeah.
Now there's Walmart, there's Target, there's And I'm not saying that's not bad for the community, but you talk ownership. You're talking about owning something. You're talking about,
Yeah.
That's a whole. Well, look at Inglewood. You been to Inglewood recently?
Yeah, I live right next to it. I live in Baldwin Hills.
You see what's happening, right?
Yeah, I very much so see what's happening.
Being gentrified, right?
Absolutely.
They got condo buildings going up. Some of those condos are going to cost almost $1 million.
Yeah. On Crenshaw as well now.
I'm not being racist or anything, but you asked the question. Ownership. What do we have? Got a little bit here, a little bit there, but ain't the way it was.
And what's your Nipsey Hussle?
What a great loss, man. This was not somebody who just talked giving back. He came back to the neighborhood and was bringing the neighborhood up in terms of businesses, jobs, paying for schools and scholarship for children, promoting a whole positive thing for our community. His loss was a great loss, man. A great loss.
Did you get a chance to meet him at all?
Unfortunately, no. Never met him. I would have loved to, but I never did meet him.
Cicely Tyson.
Forget about it. Can't touch it with a stick. Can't touch it. As a talent, I mean, I directed her in a film, as you know, called Harlem. She played Madam Queen, Bumpy Johnson's mentor. Mm-hmm. When she was on the set in a scene, she brought 1,000%. If you didn't bring 1,000%, she buried you like you were a pigeon. You had to everything. You had to raise up. You had to bring everything you had because she was present. She became that person, the character. So it was like, and she was a vegan. She set a lot of standards in terms of how we eat and talked about it. Married to Miles Davis. I mean, I just loved her. I loved her very, very, very much. She was a great human being. Great human being.
Your connection with Lawrence Fishburne. Seemed like y'all had great chemistry.
I love Lawrence. One of the greatest talents out there as an actor, but a great human being also. I first directed him in a film called Deep Cover. Jeff Goldblum, Clarence Williams III, a lot of different people in the movie that I still love to this day. But Lawrence is a brilliant guy. Then I directed him in Hoodlum.
Yeah.
And Lawrence is like, he's like Cecily, he brings everything to the party. He's not acting. See, I hate the word acting. That means like pretending almost.
Sure.
He becomes the person. Being. And that was powerful. Him and Jeff Goldblum in that movie. Him and Cecily in the movie. Hoodlum. I had to sit back and just watch because there wasn't much to say. Many times you go up to a scene and correct the actors, da-da-da-da-da-da. We do 2 takes, it was over because they brought everything. There was no time, there's no need for take 3.
Wow. DB?
Is there a bigger and better power couple than Ruby D and Ozzie?
Is there what?
Is there a better power couple than Ruby D and Ozzie?
Not that I know of. I mean, I had the greatest pleasure of working with Ozzie Davis. You know, on a movie with Deacons of Defense with Forrest Whitaker. Ozzie Davis was in the movie. And when Ozzie was in the, you didn't give Ozzie instructions, you know. You say, thank you, Mr. Davis. Thank you very much, sir. I appreciate it very much. Do you want to do another take? No, I'm good. Okay, sir. Want to go to the next scene? I mean, there are certain people that you how can I say? They're heroes. They're standard. They set standards. Ozzie Davis was one of the funniest human beings, and he could say things to you in a way. He just told the truth. You ask him a question, he tell you the truth. He put no sugar on it. He didn't coat it. So he asked me a question, right? I said, yes, sir. Okay. An honest, soft-spoken person.
Which leads me into my next one. Can you tell us a little bit more about your family? And from my understanding, I don't believe that there's a Bill Duke Jr. who you're passing down all of this talent and wisdom down to, right?
No, I have a goddaughter, Natalie, which is part of my heart and soul. I noticed since she was 3 years old. She just left. She came here for my birthday was this past week. She came down and cooked for me and took me to the beach, and it was a great, great celebration, Natalie. But no, I think there were two reasons. A couple reasons I didn't have get married and have children. At that time, I didn't want to see my children go through what I went through. I was afraid for them to do that, so it was kind of selfish, I know. Second is I went through such hard times. People get married and have kids, but I didn't want to just be a father. I want to be a parent. Parents don't just have their kids. They take care of their kids. Food, home, shelter, clothing, school, all of that. And the business that I'm in, you know, it's like, it's a roller coaster. Okay, this year you're doing great, right? Then next year you're looking for work. Then you're doing great for 2 or 3 years. Then you're looking for work. And I didn't want to go through all that and take them through it. And plus, I think, and I'm not exaggerating, a good 70% of my friends who got married got divorced.
Mm.
So pardon me?
No, I was saying, is there something in your life that if you could go back and do it again, not necessarily that, but just anything that you could go back and reverse in your personal life and your career, what would those things be, if any?
I would have probably been with somebody and had 1 or 2 children when I could really afford to do it, because you're passing on your lineage and your legacy and your, you know. But I didn't want to do it. You know, I saw it on Mrs. Von Zont's show 3 years ago, I think it's on Oprah's network. They had these young black men on. I don't know if you saw this or not. There were, I think, 6 of them, 5 or 6 of them. In between them, all they had around 75 kids.
Woo.
Check it out.
Damn.
Yeah. My brother, Red, says, what was your experience like on the Menace II Society set? And were you there when Tupac was originally casted in the movie?
Yes, and it was a great set. The Hughes brothers are brilliant geniuses. In that one scene I was in, I travel around the world, man, and I've been in so many movies, as you know. No matter, I was in Japan. And these kids recognize me, and they come up to me and they say, "You know, you done fucked up, right?" They couldn't even say the word fuck. "You know, you done fucked up, right?" That's the line I get more than anything else of all my movies.
Classic.
Dream project and dream role.
I have a number of dream projects. It's like, God, I mean, dream role, you know, playing the part of someone who really made a difference in terms of not only our community, but the world. I would love to have a role like that. Dream projects.
Name a few.
I would love to do stories on some of our. I would like to do a real film on the Civil War. I mean, and Lincoln. The one out there now does. I think I haven't seen it, but I hear it does. It does. It really shows a lot of the truth. But I want to show. You know, there were a lot of black soldiers that fought against the North. Slaves that joined that army and fought against us. I want to do a movie that talks about what was that conflict, you know, because it talks about our division as a people too. I'd like to talk about that and get into it. You know, what was that about? Why did folks make the choices that they made, you know? So, I mean, before I die, there's several great projects I have in my basket that I want to make. I just need the funding and distribution. I want to grow my foundation. By the way, my foundation teaches two things. Go DukeMediaFoundation.org. DukeMediaFoundation.org, you can see it. It's a donation button you can push and give us a little bit of money if you can. But we teach young people, high school kids, two things. Media literacy, which is what are the opportunities out there now from seeing our industry going from film and TV to media, to Hulu, Netflix, Crackle, the AT&T purchasing Warner Brothers and HBO. What is that? What are the implications of that for everybody? And then we teach, you know, stop waiting to be discovered. I got a buddy just started his own company. He has his own production company with 3 iPhone 12 Pros, 2 sound systems that cost him $600 a piece, 4 lights, each light cost him like $200, and an editing system that he has online. He has his own studio. I was in a film with Steven Soderbergh, as I told you, called High Flying Bird. It's on Netflix now. It's like a year and a half or two ago, and he shot it in New York City in 2 weeks of feature film, right? With 5 iPhone 7 Pluses.
Wow.
When they did the dolly shots, they rolled them around in a wheelchair. You understand what I'm saying?
Yeah.
You ain't got, people are waiting to be discovered. Discover yourself. We teach kids this. The same thing, next thing we teach is financial literacy. The distinction between the spending of a dollar and the use of a dollar. What is the FDIC? What is the Federal Reserve? What is a stock? What is a bond? What is Wall Street? What is credit? What is debt? What is compound interest? What are the things you need to know? Do you know there are people in our community that make $200 and $300 million and go broke? You know I'm not exaggerating, right?
Yeah.
If you're not taught how to use a dollar, you spend, right? Suppose you took 5% of that and put it in the box under your bed.
Right. It is Abraham Lincoln a hero? Another hero question.
I think Lincoln was conflicted because I think he was brought up through tradition, so he had those racist classic tendencies. But also he saw the horrors of slavery. I don't think he wanted to be a part of that. He didn't want to be a part of the lynchings and they called the nigger barbecues. You know, they used to literally barbecue us on spits. Did you know that? They used to dehydrate us, hang us in trees, and put fires under us until our body parts dehydrated and fell in, and they used to take the parts and stand smiling with body parts in their hands. There's a book called Without Sanctuary. You have to get it. It's a Without Sanctuary. It's a pictorial history of all the lynchings and the nigger barbecues. I keep it on my table in my living room because I never want to forget it. Every young person should see that because they see what we've come through. We are miraculous. We are quantum physicists. We have the ability to turn whatever is given to us into something positive. We're alchemists. But we should know that, the history of what we've done.
Stevie Wonder's moving back to Africa.
Did he say why?
No, not moving back, but I'm just saying moving to Africa, excuse me. No, I'm just curious on your thoughts about that.
I think he's a wise man. I think that keep a little place here, but have a home that doesn't deal with, I know he's blind, but he sees something we don't see. You know what I'm saying? I think Stevie understands, he understands. And I think that him moving back is a good thing.
DB?
Yeah, Mr. Bill Duke. Who are Bill Duke's favorite actors? Who would you pay to see perform? And if there was a movie, The Life of Bill Duke, who would play you?
Oh, God, I don't know that. But I love Meryl Streep is one of my favorite actresses of all time. I love Denzel. I love Sam. Viola Davis. Cecily, of course. The list goes on and on and on. I love actors who don't act. They become that person. And so it's like a matter of, I think Common went from rap to, he's a really good actor these days. I mean, I can list a lot of people, I don't want to go on and on and on, but the fact of the matter is, there's some great people out there. And I hope they get greater opportunities because I want to see us get greater awards and greater kind of recognitions because there's some brilliant people out there. By the way, I'm starting my own network. It's online. It's called Unite. It'll be up in June. And I want you guys to check it out. The Unite Network. It's about, go ahead.
And what do you expound on that, please?
Well, in the news today, all you hear is negativity, right? Suppose there are and there's a lot of negativity, but there are a lot of people that are doing good things to help other people. My network talks about that. And to give hope to our children. Our children should not be brought up just in an environment of how horrible life is, fires, COVID, wars and bombs and racism and all, the lockdown, okay, that's real, right? But there's a lot of stuff going on in this world. Have you ever seen CNN Heroes?
Yes.
One of the greatest programs on TV. My network celebrates that kind of thing. I have around 5 more minutes, gentlemen.
Yeah. DB.
One of our sisters in our chat, Patricia, she said that the actor Leon could have pulled it off playing a good Bill Duke. I agree.
Arnold Schwarzenegger. Could you have predicted back then that he would have become governor?
Never, ever. No. But I mean, with him and what's his name also in the film, became another governor.
Jesse the Body Ventura.
Yeah, they both became governor. No, we were just acting buddies then. They weren't into politics. But you know.
Did you get a chance to meet the Kennedys as well, or
no?
No. D.
Yeah, what did you think about Chadwick Boseman's work, and did his passing affect you at all?
I think he was a genius. One of the greatest actors I've ever known. Talking about bringing it all to the table, he just... He was somebody that I just loved his work. Still love his work.
Yeah. I do have one final question for you. My question is, what's the most interesting and intriguing thing about Bill Duke?
Well, I don't know how intriguing it is. I guess when I was younger, I thought that after you reach a certain age that you knew everything and that you were wise. And I don't believe that any longer. I think wisdom is when you continue to learn. We put too much emphasis upon the importance of the intellect. There are things far beyond our intellect. I mean, far beyond our intellect. But our ego lets us believe that the intellect is the thing, you know, smart and wise and da-da-da-da. EGO stands for edging God out. Edging God out. And I believe that I learn something new every day. I learn about the world, myself, relationships. I learn a lot by being alive every day. And I never ever want to stop learning. I'm a student of life. A student of life. And I'm never the wise one in the room. I'm the one who's, if I'm in a room with children, I'm going to ask questions.
My final question. Are you a man of faith? And how important is your faith and or religion?
If I didn't have faith, I wouldn't be alive. I wake up and say, thank you, Mother, Father, God, every morning for waking me up, putting me to sleep, giving me enough food to eat. Whatever it is, God is my savior every single day, every single day, every single day. And my spiritual existence saved me from becoming a drug head. I mean, I was there for a little while, but God took me through it. God took me through a plane crash, and I don't swim. God took me to almost drowning, and I can't even explain to you how many. It's God, not me. It's God, me.
Wow, we thank you for coming on, Mr. Bill Duke.
Thanks for having me, brother. Thanks for having me.
The great Bill Duke. Yeah.
The great Bill Duke. You know you done fucked up, right?
Oh, you couldn't help yourself. You couldn't help yourself.
Thank you, brother.
God bless you both, okay?
Appreciate you so much.
God bless you. Let's do it again sometime, okay?
Oh, we thoroughly looking forward to it. I didn't even get through 25% of my questions.
Okay.
Thank you. Appreciate you.
God bless and be well.
All the time. DB.
Man, God damn. Who am I to deserve this? Who am I to deserve talking to the OG Bill Duke, man? God damn. Incredible, man. Incredible. I couldn't, at the end of his sentences, I couldn't hear. He had a little bit of a pastor pause. So I couldn't hear. I'm like, damn, was he finished? I'm like, is he gonna start back again? So I had a little pause in there for a second. But man, this dude is I mean, to be able to meet people like Cicely Tyson, you know, Ruby Dee, Ozzie Davis, you know, Sammy Davis. I mean, all these old school OGs who was really putting in work. And you know how you hear people say now, just kind of shut up and box or shut up and dribble, shut up and play, you know, don't get involved in politics. These people were performing and doing a great job. I mean, these people are at the top of their craft, you know, in their industries, and they were still able to get involved with, you know, overcoming the oppressions and getting involved with these social issues, you know what I mean? And bringing awareness to our people and taking a risk, you know? Right. So to have those kind of people, and it's only a handful, it wasn't everybody, right? But he's definitely one of those people who speaks truth to power, man. So yeah, I'm fortunate, lucky, blessed, all those things, man, to be in a position to be able to just ask him some simple questions and talk about his life, you know. So I thank you, I thank Bill, thank the Queen, Patty Dean, you know, and everybody here in the shop, man, for even just listening to it for an hour, spending the middle of the day with it. Absolutely.
Right. Great show. Thank you, DB. Thank you. What was it? What did I say? PPD, DB, and me? DB, PPD, and me. DB, PPD, and me. There we go. There we go. Appreciate everyone. And I appreciate y'all coming. We'll be back in a few hours, man. And you mind if I go play Dad real quick?
Hold on. Let me make sure we get some love to the people. Hold on. I got to run back to the phone. All right. Here we go. Let's see. Yes, indeed. Got the brother Xavier Moses. What up, X? Dave Jack in the building, Detroit. Got Jay Dixon slid in late. We see you in here, brother. Boxing Social Network, Mike Moss, my bro, Tone Brown Alvarez in the building. Alex Carrillo. Going to say Carrillo, Fred.
Carrillo.
All right. Good. There you go. Boxing Conversations with Reggie Owens. So Reggie just put a link into the Bill Duke Foundation. So y'all can click on that link and so keep supporting the brother Bill Duke. Axiom Moik's in the building with us too. Let's see, D Wills done slid in. Our Queen Patricia Shelton, and of course throwing flowers at the feet of the Queen Patty Dean. Absolutely, Miss TT in the building representing. Salute to you, Kenneth Johnson. I see you, KJ. D Hodges in Boston. Young Joshton came in here. He said, "Are we going live again tonight at 11?" Yes, it's 9 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But yeah, Josh, we'll be back here. Let's see who else we got in there. I think that's just about everybody right now. And I saw the brother Drew Titan here a little bit earlier. Drew, Cletus, of course. Yes, indeed. And yeah, man, RAL 1980 Lawton. Yeah, Commando. So yes, we definitely see y'all back here tonight, man. Everybody going to spend some time with your loved ones, but over here on the West Coast, the sun is still shining. So get outside for the next hour, man. Soak up some of that vitamin D. Or vitamin DB, as I call it. Yeah. Peace, brother.
Oh, I guess we're not playing the song.
Oh, I didn't know I thought you was running to the family. Play the song, Fred! Jerry Thatcher, PGH, Big Dog.
We're going to fast forward to the... Okay. Rob G Films.
Oh,
hey, yo. It's my personal statement. Running game like I'm A6. Be the greatest, yeah. Bobbing and weaving and changing up like the seasons. So I do it for all my people. Jabbing the competition. Oh, he's in here early. I'll rewatch now. You're going to love it, Triple OG. It's right up your alley. Appreciate you, People Hernandez. Puyaka. Appreciate you, People Hernandez. What's up, big homie? Mike Moss, what's up? This final round. Life's to play with no rehearsal. Come for your bro. Take it personal. Cause the devil is a lie. Hey. I'm telling you the truth. Hey. Yeah. Hey. 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 Love y'all. Love y'all.
Yeah. Peace and love. See you at 9 p.m.
Appreciate you. Hey, Triple OG, it's a new, it's a different channel. So that's why I'll do all that later with the wrenches and all that. See y'all tonight. Appreciate y'all.